We have a great presenter coming up. All the way from Belgrade, Serbia, we have Aleksandar Debelic. He's the team lead and solution architect at Digital Studio SAP for IBM Services Department. That's a long title. He's coming to us from IBM, from the Center of Competence for Blockchain, to talk to us about the innovations that come out of a partnership for SAP Leonardo Blockchain. And I'm super excited to go deeper into this topic with you guys and together with Aleksandar. So please help me welcome to the stage Aleksandar Debelic. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, and thank you for coming to the session. And yeah, so let's kick this off. And so you all heard a lot about blockchain, so I will try not to repeat the stuff that you already heard a couple of times. But always in the beginning, we are asking ourselves, why blockchain? So now we are talking about enterprise blockchain. So to put blockchain into action when it comes to enterprises.
Ich habe es genau gesehen.
So what we get is, as we know, shared immutable ledger. We get value chain applications, transparency, security. So this is all we get from blockchain, and this enables us to optimize our ecosystems, to create new value by building business processes that were not possible before, and of course reduce risk with transparency and trusted decentralized ledger. So what are the value drivers when it comes to blockchain? We are talking about two types of value drivers. Of course, business always comes first, but also we have technical value drivers that are making this all possible. So we can see on the left side some technical value drivers, on the right side some business value drivers. So we are enabling this multi-party collaboration. So this, in fact, comes to this basic question: is the blockchain a right solution for my problem? So if you are having business problem that is only yours, then blockchain is not the solution. But if you are having problem in the process that involves your business partners, so you have some partner community, you have some shared process, and you have some frictions in this process, then the blockchain is a right solution for this. And this is possible with this multi-party collaboration. We are having one single source of truth, so we have information centralization, process optimization, and maybe important to mention these digital assets. So we are digitizing our assets through the blockchain. And of course, these business drivers through process optimization, time and cost reduction, transparency, and risk and fraud minimization. Some facts and figures about this. So I wouldn't spend too much time. These figures only show that everybody is recognizing the value of the blockchain, what disruption it is making, and what are the great values that it can bring to the business. So, in fact, my main topic for today is S&P and IBM blockchain co-innovation for oil and gas. So SAP and IBM are partnering to build industry solutions for oil and gas industry that are running on top of SAP Leonardo Blockchain as a service. Our teams of experts, business experts, are working on identifying client pain points from oil and gas industry and addressing them using solutions based on blockchain. What you can see here on this slide are some of the most important identified use cases that were detected. Now, on top, we have joint venture accounting that I will show you today through live demo. But also we have different processes as you can see from this list, these processes cover a variety of business areas. So we have processes from finance, but we also have processes from logistics. And they can all be addressed using blockchain. But before that, maybe to mention one important thing that, we keep on mentioning on all the time is about the blockchain interoperability. So this is something that both SAP and IBM are seriously focusing. And what does this mean, in fact? So you have several clients that have different environments, different platforms, but they want to share the same ecosystem. So you really don't, so blockchain is all about building ecosystems, sharing information, and working together. So you don't really want to isolate clients by platforms. To resolve this, we are working on building blockchain interoperability, meaning that blockchains from different vendors can talk between each other. And this enabling layer is, in fact, the basis for the process layer for the business, let's call it like that, to enable cross-company business processes. One more important thing is, by introducing blockchain as a service on SAP Leonardo platform, SAP is in fact bundling all this together with other innovative solutions like Internet of Things or machine learning. In fact, the message here is that we can build our solutions on blockchain, but we can make them even better by combining other transformational technologies, like in this case mentioned Internet of Things or machine learning. And putting them together, we can make powerful solutions that can drive digital transformation for the companies. So over to our use cases. The one that I mentioned in the beginning is this about joint venture accounting. So this is one of the main pain points in oil and gas upstream industry. It involves several participants that are working together on the same business, on the same process. So we have process of extracting crude oil from the ground, and we have one participant that is usually called operator that is managing all this, and we have a number of other participants, non-operators, that are in fact providing some kind of service. So is it equipment or something else? But the fact is that they work together, they share the same interest, and they share, it is strictly defined, the percentage share between themselves. So in the end of the month, they share the revenue, but they also share the cost. So until now, we had a situation like on the left side of the slide. You can see process as it is now. So at the end of the month, operator issues these JV bills, joint venture bills, and this is the first moment when non-operators get them through different communication lines. And this is the moment when potentially the problems arise. Why is that? So the problem arises when some of the costs that are mentioned in these bills are not recognized by non-operators, and they want to complain about this. And then you have all kinds of disputes, delays, all sorts of problems that are making this process very, very cumbersome. To address this business pain point, we are introducing blockchain as a single source of truth. So what we are doing, we are storing transactions from S/4HANA system directly into blockchain as they happen in S/4HANA system, and they are immediately available to all the parties involved. they can see it. Of course, they can see it according to their authorizations. So everybody can see only the information that is related to them. And then they can immediately issue a complaint if they are not satisfied with what they can see. And ideally, when it comes to the end of the month, there will be no complaints. So the billing process will run smoothly. So I will now show you the short demo about how this works. So let me just switch to the browser. Okay, so I have a couple of screens open here. So this is the dashboard from which we will follow everything. And this, in the background, I have opened this blockchain Explorer. Let me just try to adjust. Let me just, oops. Try to adjust the screen resolution. Sorry about this. Okay, so this should work. Okay, sorry about this. Yeah, okay, so we will start with this. I don't think I have network connectivity. Let me just check. Okay. Let me try to log on this one. Okay, it works. Yeah, sorry about this. So I will first log on as a non-operator to see the current status. So for example, I am impersonated the company, and I'm logging onto the dashboard. So here we see some general options. So I can see the cost overview. Yeah. So. Sorry?
It's on the advanced screen.
Aha.
So if you just put the program here, they can't see it on the presentation.
Ah, yeah, okay, okay, I didn't know this. Thank you. Okay, so I can extend it right now. Yeah, so this is the cost overview. We can see some information. So on the left, we have name of the operator, a year and period, and we have two types of expenses, billable expenses and cutback details. So for example, I want to see my cutback details for February this year. Okay. So I see that for me, there are only 2 transactions available for February this year. And I see some amount that doesn't seem right to me. So let me look into details. So here are the details. Okay, so I already submitted. Let me submit another query. Let me say, okay. Let me say like this. This still doesn't look right. Please help. Okay, now when I submit it, now this transaction is being recorded into the blockchain. So as soon as it is submitted, we should see you can see new block entering the blockchain, block A39. And now I'm logging off as this partner. Some other features that I will just quickly show you are these graphs. So we also have graph representations that show us the overview, how this looks like for past period. And we can, based on the standard deviation algorithms, we can see the deviations from the average. And OK, so I will now log out as this participant. And I will log in as operator, so I will be Exxon. OK, so now if I go here to see overview of all queries, I want to see queries for this one. OK, so I see that there is one unresolved query. Now I will address it. I will say, OK, everything is all right. We double checked. OK. And submit. Now looking into blockchain, another block should appear. So what is the takeaway here? We are not only exposing this information to all the participants at the same time to have single source of truth for everyone, but we are also streamlining this process and recording everything into blockchain. And as we know, blockchain is something that cannot be deleted. So all the information we store here is there to be forever. And we can always return and take a look into these complaints. Also, other participants can see this, and if they were going to complain, they can say, OK, somebody already submitted the query about this, and then they will wait for the resolution. And this is how the process is optimized. The other part of this solution is AFE approvals. Authorization for expenditure is a process that is before the joint venture. So when operator wants to form a new joint venture, they submit this authorization for expenditure. This means that they are inviting their partners to submit consent on the terms of the new joint venture. So we create new joint venture project in SAP, submit it, we get this dashboard, and now the non-operators can submit their consent or non-consent, and they can also look into this information here. So we are attaching PDF document with details about all the costs and all the details of this joint venture. So depending on their decision, they will consent or not consent. OK. So I will now continue with my PowerPoint because we have a little time. I apologize for these technical issues. I will just walk you quickly through the other use case. It is one that we are currently building about global hydrocarbon movement. So this one, the previous one was about financials. This one is about logistics. This is also, in fact, just to understand how complex this process is, let me show you this overview. So on the left, again, we have the status as is. On the right, the solution we are proposing. So on the left, we see several participants. So we have shipping companies, we have government entities like customs, etc. And they're all involved, and they share one piece of information, exchange it using papers, Excel sheets, etc. But what we really want to do is to avoid this, to have one Again, one centralized source of truth, and that everybody can access and exchange information and accelerate process instead of waiting for documentation to flow for days. We have everything immediately in the blockchain. Okay, so this was about these use cases that we are building. Now, again, to just a couple of words about the platform. So, what is it about? What is it about SAP Leonardo blockchain? What it consists of? So, we have foundation services that are enabling this. So they are in a platform that enables everything. Then we have application integration services that are enabling integration with the external systems. And again, we have business services that are delivered through ready-to-use business patterns like these two use cases that you just saw. So next steps are building all these solutions and making them available so that clients from oil and gas industry can immediately start using them and building their ecosystems with their business partners and collaborating more efficiently and streamline their business and improve its outcome. So this is all that I had for you today. So if you have any questions.
Thank you so much. Oh.
Okay.
My mic's coming on. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming up here and inspiring us. So, ladies and gentlemen, do you have questions for Alexander? Don't be shy. Right over here. Caro, thank you.
Hi, thanks for the presentation. Look, I'm having a hard time understanding what's the what you explained. You define in your system as for HANA or in a transaction that's locally registered, right? For one partner of the network, and then it's published into this blockchain solution that you propose.
Yeah.
How is this different to the actual model that we have? How is it different to the business-to-business processes? I mean, the transaction already happened internally in your accounting, but it's not automatically verified by the network. So it's sent to the network for approval, for discussion, for queries and checking, but it's not really happening in the blockchain. It happened before. That's what I understood. Maybe I'm wrong. So if you can elaborate a bit more on that. Thank you.
Yeah. So, okay.
Thank you.
So, okay, I don't have this anymore. So, the thing is that transaction, when it happens in the SAP system, it is only available in operators' SAP system. Nobody else can see it. They are not connected. So they are only waiting for the bill to come at the end of the month, and that's it. They don't see these transactions. Now we are enabling them to see them. So we are not connecting their systems and exchanging information B2B between operators, non-operator systems. This is not how it is done, but they are stored in the blockchain. And all this information that is stored in the blockchain is made available to all the participants immediately. So this is, this way, instead of, I agree, we could have B2B, but we have potentially, let's say, 100 participants. So they need all to exchange data between each other. So with the blockchain, we are scratching this all. There was one good slide that I didn't bring with me today, how this today's ecosystems looks like. So you have participants all over the place, and then you have these cross links between each other. With the blockchain, you are tidying everything up. So you have one single source of truth, and they are all accessing only this distributed ledger, instead of having 1,000 interlinks between each other.
Thank you. Thanks for the question. If there are no more questions, I want to thank you so much for coming up.